What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Mother-Loving Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop New Year, New You podcast, episode 58, a show where we talk about movies, TV, comics, breaking news, seafaring superheroes, and all the other nerdy things. Keep scratching other things that scratch your nerdy itch. Listen, I had dental work 2 hours ago. This whole side of me, I feel like Two-Face. This whole side is numb. So if I sound funny, just go with it. We're coming to you live from Yunk Junk HQ, a bomb-ass podcast production space in Manayunk, PA. I'm your holly stuffed host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to rad-ass individuals like yourselves. So get your rad-asses down here and buy my shit.
Rat or rat?
Not rat asses.
Yeah, rat asses. Red asses.
Radazes.
Radazes.
You're radazes.
Rad asses.
And with me tonight to talk about stuff that we enjoy or did not enjoy is Noel.
What makes you think we're only going to talk about things we don't enjoy? Wait.
We enjoy or did not enjoy. I covered both.
I should listen.
Yeah.
To when you wait. What was your name again?
Oh, with me this week is Noel.
Hey.
Also in the booth is our trusty producer Dylan.
Dylon.
Ew.
Everyone's got a dry cough. We're in the Pacific, like the tri-state area, the Northeast, and it's just really dry. It's a little cold.
Please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when this nonsense takes place. Also, we love a little back and forth, a little in and out, if you will. So pipe up in the chat and or email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Robert Monroe Jr., our favorite listener, is what? He's a viewer as well, I guess.
Favorite listening viewer.
Yeah. What's up, CultPopera?
The
CultPopera. Looking forward to your review of Aquaman 2. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about Aquaman 2. I guess it's not a spoiler because it's literally
not a spoiler at all. Yeah.
It's in the thing. It's in the description. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Yeah, because there were so many things, a lot of things happened over the holiday. There were so many things that we could have talked about, but we were like, Aquaman 2.
That's the one.
Because not enough people are really singing this movie's song.
Yeah. Praises. It's a hymn.
It's a hymn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hymn. HYMN. Hymn.
That it was the introduction. Now we're gonna do the part of the show that I like best, called "What You Been Up To This Week?" Huh?
This is your favorite part?
No, really, my favorite part is saying, "Hey, Noel, what you been up to this week?" Huh?
I just have like an emotional
I saw that.
I hate it so much.
I gave you a chill.
For like 6 years, I've been doing this podcast with you.
Dude, chill.
Every time. It's just like, I want to talk about a show that's on Apple TV Plus.
You have my permission.
Watched it over the break. My wife randomly put it on and I did not care. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll read at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Ended up being pulled into it and we watched the whole thing.
That happens a lot.
Lessons in Chemistry with Brie Larson.
Mm-hmm.
It is an 8.
Enemy of all men everywhere. Brie Larson.
Enemy of all
men. She hates
men
white dudes.
Especially if you're a critic.
Yeah.
Hates you.
Yeah, just the worst.
Yeah.
That was a joke. I love Brie Larson.
It is. It's based on a book, a fictional book. But it's an amalgam of like a bunch of real people in history that this writer, I forget the name of the writer, I'm sorry, puts all of them together into this fictional character. So like it's the 1960s, a female chemist who's not allowed to actually run her own lab, but she's smarter than everyone else and falls in love and blah 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 and starts it's just her kind of adventures over the course of about 10 years in the 1960s and all the crazy shit that happened in the 60s.
Bonnie Garmus.
Is that
the name of the novelist?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Same name. It's still called Lessons in Chemistry.
Yeah.
What
actually
made
it's just a singular lesson?
Lesson in Chemistry?
Oh no, that's a lie. No, it is lessons. It's multiple lessons. Google fucked me up.
It's a one-off show. It's 8 hours. It's very breezy, or 8 episodes. It's very breezy. What made it special and more engaging for me is that is not a traditional or linear show. There is random episodes, like 2 episodes in, the third one randomly is from the perspective of the dog, and the dog is narrating.
What?
And then like 2 episodes later, it's 10 years forward, and you meet this little girl, and you find out it's her daughter. But maybe that, and then they go back into like it is a very non-linear structure.
Yeah,
which keeps this what could have been a very simple story, or kind of just, I don't want to say boring, but seen it kind of story, and they kind of make it a lot more engaging and a lot cooler and a lot like more fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Terrible stuff happens, joyful stuff happens. She's a very, very interesting character who I would not be surprised may be on the spectrum, because she is very direct and unemotional externally, and like so it was a really good show. Like it was a really, really interesting, worth it show that no one is talking about.
That Apple Plus seems to have a plethora of shows that nobody is talking about, but all are awesome.
I was talking about with hello,
hey, Eddie.
Madison. I was talking with somebody on talking with somebody online. I was arguing with somebody on Twitter. Yeah. All right, motherfucker. No, it actually wasn't that contentious, but the idea that like somebody had mentioned that Amazon and Apple are just banging out good stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of threw out there, I was like, well, the reason why that's possible is because they don't need to make money. Their leverage or their return of investment is you're in our ecosystem and prestige. So they can drop $150 million on a 4 or 5 episode miniseries and not worry about any kind of return on investment, because any kind of prestige or awards that they win off of that or get off of that or word of mouth puts a new user in their ecosystem to potentially buy other products.
I was wondering how that works.
So they don't.
That makes sense.
They're like a couple $1 billion in the green. So a third season of a TV show that's really expensive is not necessary. It doesn't have the same return on investment that is required for network television with commercial buys and product placement and merchandising. They just do their own thing, and the value is people watching, and that's it. Which is kind of cool. Amazon used to be like that, but they went a little too hardcore on Lord of the Rings, and that cost them like $1 billion. Did
that show do well? I watched the first episode. I was a little sleepy.
It didn't do bad, but it didn't do so good that they could just like rest their laurels on it.
Gotcha.
Because I think they canceled a shit ton of shows after it.
Oh,
like, and I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
we watched. My wife and I are big fans of Lord of the Rings. We're not like. I've read the novels, just the novels, not the appendices or the Silmarillion or studied maps and learned Elvish. There's different levels of fans.
Did you when you were reading Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Would you read the songs or would you skip the songs?
I read the songs.
You read the songs, all the lyrics?
I didn't.
Did you sing them?
No, I didn't try to sing them.
Okay.
I just kind of read them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's not that many.
I remember trying to read it, and I got like 3 songs in, and I'm like, never mind.
My biggest problem with the 3 Lord of the Rings books, I did read them while the movies were coming out. My biggest problem, and this is just like a me problem, the first book, Fellowship of the Ring, everyone's together. Chapters are linear. In Two Towers on, when they separate, they alternate chapters and chunks of the book to only focus on one group.
Yeah.
So you read almost the entirety of Helm's Deep and all of this crazy shit with Aragorn and Fam, and it was 500 pages until you got to see what Frodo did next.
Until you got to
So like it was a disjointed reading experience, whereas the movies, they obviously intercut them in a linear fashion, so the timeline made sense.
Yeah.
But you know, I was younger, and I was reading probably the biggest book I had ever read by then, and I had to retain exactly what does this take place the same time as this did that I read a week ago?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I was curious.
But out of there. Yeah.
So lessons in chemistry.
I actually think you would really enjoy it. It's
on my list.
Yeah.
Every time I get up onto Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called, I see that and I'm like, oh, we got to watch that.
And I know you're like into Morning Show. We haven't watched that yet, but that's totally there. Morning Show I want to watch. Foundation I want to watch. The Mankind. Was it For All Mankind?
Yeah.
They're on like their 5th season, and apparently it's great.
Wow. Okay.
Slow Horses. Literally everyone's talking about that fucking
Is that
show.
the one with Gary Oldman?
Yeah.
I love Gary Oldman.
They just
so
got
much.
approved for a 5th season. I'm like, where did the first 4 go? When did that show up?
Yep.
But it's because Apple has the ability to, before the show is even completed, they're like, yeah, this has got good word of mouth and critical praise, so let's just keep doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. What I've been up to this week is...
Wait, let me ask you.
Oh.
Hey, JD.
Hey, how you going? I was over here thinking about you. You just on the...
Yeah, I just want to ask
bring
you really
something
quickly,
up,
what you been doing this week?
What have I been at?
Yeah,
this week. Yeah. I'm glad you asked me that. What If Season 2 dropped?
It did, fell down.
Yeah, right down a manhole. I went down that manhole and I set up a little what
cot.
Are those?
A cot in the sewers.
Yeah. A beanbag of sorts. And I watched the first 6 episodes of What If.
Yes, you got to 6.
Yeah.
Of 9.
Speaking of which, Eddie Madison's in the chat saying, I have seen all of season 2 episodes of What If on Disney Plus. It was awesome. And then Rob says, morning show rocks. For All Mankind is amazing.
Rob, watch the first couple episodes. I don't know which camera I'm looking at, but it doesn't matter. Rob, watch the first couple episodes of Lessons in Chemistry, because it's even the ads and everything kind of looks like it's a sugar saccharine, brightly hued 1960s feminist show. It is way more than that. And I actually would like your opinion.
Yeah.
Go
do it. Not right now, though. Hang out with us. I liked What If Season 1. I thought it was cute. It was delightful. I wasn't wowed. I wasn't amazed. The big takeaway from that for me was Peggy Carter as Captain Carter. Big Captain Carter. I've got a Captain Carter action figure. I love it. She's wonderful. I've always liked Hallie Atwell. Well, not always. I didn't know who Hallie Atwell was until she was Peggy Carter.
I've liked her since she was born.
That's some like
you'd be a fan
Twilight.
Of somebody. Oh, yeah.
Did you imprint on her when she was a baby?
She was a baby.
So
I'm a werewolf.
There is more. I mean, you look. Not surprising.
I'm like the slovenly cousin of all the werewolves in the building.
Cracking a beer. I guess. The moon up, who cares?
Guys, you don't really have to go hunting. Just go puff. Fuck it.
Peggy Carter, she's great. So I was okay. I'm of two minds. I love that Peggy Carter is back. Captain Carter is back.
Yeah.
But I also understand the folks who are like, I kind of like What Ifs to just be What If. So the comic book What If is a long-running comic book from Marvel Comics, and generally they are each issue is their own story arc. Not in season 1, all of the different What If characters come together for the finale. That's not a thing that usually happens in the comic book. But because this is a TV season, it made sense. And now we're getting more of those, which is fine. But I was also a little bit like, there's so many characters and there's so many What If stories you could be doing.
Yes.
And you're revisiting season 1.
There have been some What If miniseries, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't have a problem with it, and I'll tell you why. This season was fucking awesome.
Oh, okay.
And the best parts of it were when Peggy showed up.
I do love Peggy.
If they were subpar episodes, episode 5,
Black Widow.
Episode 5, which is basically, Peggy's version of Winter Soldier, and instead of Sam and Cap, it's Peggy and Black Widow.
Yeah, it's the Black Widow movie meets her as the Winter Soldier.
It's like a fake sequel to both of their movies, and it was
awesome.
It is 30 minutes of almost perfect.
It was my favorite episode.
It's my favorite episode of both seasons.
Nice.
Like, it was so good. And then it ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I'm like, I can't wait till Peggy shows back up. 3 episodes later, she shows back up.
Yep.
I'm okay with this right now. After this season, I think I tweeted, I'm like, I am so okay with let's just do a Peggy Carter show. Or can we just have like a Peggy Carter special? That's it. Just give me more of her outside of the framing of What If. But if this is the only way I get her, sucks for you.
Doesn't suck for me.
I am all about more Peggy.
Too.
Let's sprinkle her everywhere.
Yeah. I do enjoy her. And I just, before coming to do this show, I watched episode 6, I think, which was basically like Prey. The movie Prey that came out last year was a Predator movie. And it was all in Native American language, which forgive me, I don't remember the name
I'm
of.
not exactly sure.
But it was all subtitles and it was gnarly. I loved it.
Yeah. Everyone that bitches about Marvel not creating new characters, they literally created a new character named Chloe, and she's awesome.
Yeah, she was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is great.
I love this season. I was a little lukewarm on season 1, as in I liked like 3 of the 9 episodes. The rest were just fine.
Yeah.
This whole season, save for 1 episode, I enjoyed thoroughly.
Was the 1 episode the Christmas special?
It was stupid.
Yeah, I had fun with it. But
it was. I mean, Justin Hammer. He could be in everything. That's
Justin
great.
Hammer all day, bro.
Yeah.
I love Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer. It's good seeing him, but that was the 1 episode that I just started looking at my phone. I kind of checked out. I was just like, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, look at that confusion. Like it was the most predictable and by the numbers of all of them, and I was just kind of bored.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to finish season 2, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter of like people either love the finale or they hate it, which is not uncommon.
It's pretty bonkers. It's to your point about like sequels or whatever. Especially What If does not supposed to have sequels, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
It's a throwback to last season.
Okay.
So like it's a little bit more multiversal, crazy, weird shit. And they just one up themselves. I think some people were complaining about some character choices, to which I had no issues with at all because I read comics.
All right, right on. Hey, Dylan.
What up?
What have you been up to this week, huh?
I've been up to a lot, actually. Yesterday, I got the chance to watch a couple of really good movies.
Ooh,
Spill. Theater Camp was the one.
Oh,
it stars
I
don't think I know any of the actors' names.
It's like Ben Platt, Ayo Edebiri.
Yes. And her like normal
Hulu.
like writing and comedy partner. I don't know.
I've seen
Theater Camp. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's
a comedy musical. It's an hour and 33 minutes.
It's
look at that. That's
pretty entertaining. Very funny.
Never heard of it. However, I have my computer here.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I watched last night was Saltburn.
Oh, I keep hearing that word.
I really want to watch it. We watched the trailer the other. I see the memes.
Yeah.
And there is literally like an internet culture about this movie now.
Yeah.
Like,
well, is
it a comedy? Is it a drama? What is it?
It's a decadent thriller.
Decadent.
I like that. I've never heard that before, but I like that. Yeah. I'd say it's like sort of
satire too.
Thriller.
Lots
sort
of sex.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of
that's all you had to say.
Lots
homoeroticism.
Lots of fluids.
Yeah, lots. Oh, big on fluids. Yeah.
Viscous?
Yeah, I would.
Nice. I like my viscous.
But it's good. I feel like it's a lot of people's first exposure to like weird cinema.
Oh, okay.
Like, because people are like, it's getting really popular and people are really shocked by it because there are a couple of like scenes where you're like, whoa, yeah.
Nice. Oh,
like I've seen some weird movies, but like, like this is probably the weirdest like movie that everybody's been talking about.
Oh,
yeah, there's a lot of. I struggle to call anything that catches fire on the internet culture, but there is kind of like a subculture now of memeing and referencing Saltburn incessently.
Is it streaming
absolutely.
somewhere?
It's on
Amazon.
Great.
Yeah.
Honey, we're gonna watch Saltburn when I get home.
It's very entertaining, very well put together. Yeah,
nice,
great.
Great.
Have you watched Reacher?
Oh, I watched the first episode. No, I watched half of the first
That's
episode.
a show.
Yeah.
Is it Jack Reacher? Is that
I mean, it is Jack Reacher, but the show is just called Reacher.
I know the name Jack Reacher from people talking.
Did I talk about it last season? I watched 2 years ago when the show came out, the first season of the show, I had COVID, and it was the first time I had COVID, and I was relegated to like my office on the 3rd floor with just a TV and a streaming box and no friendship.
Yeah.
So I
cut you off. I was like, don't even text me.
I don't know if I can catch this via your messages. Fuck you.
We didn't know that much about COVID.
Yeah. It was early 21.
I had a mask on my phone.
Yeah. We were learning.
I stopped breathing. So that was one thing that I just watched the first episode of, and then it ended up watching the entire season in like a day and a half, because it is just, it's not mindless. It's actually pretty thoughtful and pretty like well put together, but it is just dumb entertainment.
Yeah.
In like here's an immovable object, and he's just going to plow his way through all situations.
Yeah.
And that sounds boring, but it's actually very cathartic to watch.
Oh, right on.
Because he's always on the right side. You know, like sees something, goes punches the fucker because he's bad.
Yeah.
Walks off, changes his coat.
Sorry, for
Like,
a
it's
second there, you
just very-
started to dip into give your balls a tug.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about that next week on next episode.
Yeah. All right.
Give your balls a tug.
Main topic: Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, directed by James Wan, written by Grant Morrison.
Oh, my bad. That's a note.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Starring Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, Amber Heard, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and Randall Park. After failing to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta wields the power of the mythic Black Trident to unleash an ancient and malevolent force. He's never trying to release an ancient and happy force.
Also, who named him Black Manta? Did he name himself?
Well, his whole dad, like that was a hand-me-down thing from his dad, right? Like the knife and everything from the first movie.
A name? That is
Even like they had a Black Manta ship.
Are they the pirates?
They were like pirates, yeah.
Carry on.
It's like, I'm your dad, the Black Manta. I know you can't believe it. We're only traveling in a ship that's shaped like a manta. Hoping to end his reign of terror, Aquaman forges an unlikely alliance with his brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis. Setting aside their differences, they join forces to protect their kingdom and save the world from irreversible destruction.
Irreversible.
What did I say?
Irreversible.
Oh, great.
I'm accentuating and putting a point on some important words that you throw out there.
Thank you.
Irreversible. Thoughts?
Were the people on Twitter upset about how woke this movie was?
I think you mean X. No. No, they weren't upset about how woke this was.
Twitter.
Because this movie...
Yeah, I dead name Twitter.
Or dead name X. I just did it again.
X. Sorry. Yeah, you know what? There's no respect. Twitter. It's Twitter forever.
Because I'm watching this movie, I was going, this is pretty woke, but I don't hear anybody complaining about it. Like the Marvels is woke, even though it doesn't have any woke plot points. But this is very specifically like, we need to save the planet, you guys. It's getting warmer. And I can't believe.
And the bad guy, his whole shtick is, I have to warm the planet.
Yeah.
And does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
No. Because the hive mind on X.
Yeah. The internet.
Can't keep more than one thought in their head at the same time.
Right.
So this was more, the conversation about this movie was more about how it's either yay, the Snyderverse is over with a whimper, or
right.
See how shitty Gunn is because
Even
it
though
didn't make a lot of money, even though it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. That's true.
So it was one of those, and they didn't actually approach the movie whatsoever on any kind of like.
Yeah, it was just
faith.
Snyder cult versus
Gold versus like, and at best people were indifferent because like, oh, that movie that came out 4 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
They just didn't care.
Okay, cool. So anyway, our thoughts on Aquaman. We're going to give you our main thoughts, and then we're going to tell you a spoiler alert, and then we're going to spoil the shit out of this movie. So Noel, why don't you start us off with your thoughts? Okay. No.
I'm going to talk about the first one first.
That's what I was about to ask.
Aquaman 1. What were your thoughts on Aquaman 1, JD?
I hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. I remember, was it Len, I think was there with, maybe it was just me and Len and maybe some of his friends, but I remember sitting in the theater, IMAX.
Oh yeah, it wasn't me.
I was excited I was like, this looks dumb as hell. I can't wait. And I sat down and I watched it with Len, the Bat Tribble. And I wanted to leave. And I was like, but
at what point?
20 minutes?
Oh, there wasn't like a part of the movie where you're like, I'm done.
Like when I started seeing things like Atlanteans are wearing really heavy boots. There was stormtrooper armor for Atlanteans who live in the water. And I was like, why do they have so much armor? They live in the water. None of that floats. What? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean,
that's very heavy armor.
These fictional characters propel themselves through water by no means that are visible.
And I thought the acting was bad. I thought that's true. They just skirt.
They just scoot through the water. There's no fins. There's no.
That's true.
There's no like propulsion. It's just like, hey, by the way, I'm Atlantean.
I didn't
going through the water.
I think part of my issue with Aquaman 1 was that when everything is at 11, it's just noise. And it just felt like there was, we like to say there's 10 pounds of movie crap shoved in a 5-pound bag.
That was my problem with
and
the movie.
It felt like it was all over the place. It was very disjointed. Even the soundtrack didn't know what it was doing.
No.
There were times I laughed out loud, and the theater laughed out loud at the musical choices. So it just overall was
a Pitbull song.
I don't know who that is, but sure.
You don't know Mr. Worldwide?
So I'm sorry, Dylan. Sit down. Sit down. Put that down.
Even if you're not a fan, you know who the fuck Pitbull is.
I mean, I've heard the name, but I couldn't tell you what he looks like. I couldn't tell you his song.
I didn't ask you for his social security number.
Anyhow, I know that he is a person who exists in the music industry.
He's Mr. Worldwide.
I don't know what that means.
Pitbull.
So that was my take on Aquaman.
I mostly agree with you. I love.
There was an octopus playing drums underwater.
That I'm okay with. I love the trailer for this movie. For Aquaman 1, the trailer was just epic and fun. And I was like, oh my God, if they're going to deliver that, then I actually think I might enjoy this. And they didn't. There were there were pieces, there were sequences that I loved in the first Aquaman movie. Okay. There's I actually really kind of like a bunch of the Trident fights. James Wan knows how to stage action and not make it a disjointed, weird, edited piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or overly ramp out the slow motion to the point where there's no actual stakes or weight.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of action sequences I really liked. The Italy action sequence where they're jumping through the buildings and on top of them and scaling, and you go in and out from the two different fights that are happening.
Yeah.
That was inventive. That was fun. It was well placed. It was choreographed well. As in, like, as the viewer, you are familiar with the setting because they set it up, and then you're familiar with what's happening here and what's happening here, and then they go back and forth. It's James Wan knows how to set up a movie.
Yeah. Before I forget, can I just I just reminded me, you telling me about them on the rooftops reminded me of the fact that I sat there going, we just watched Mira and Arthur jump out of a plane that was flying. It wasn't on the ground, then they jumped out. It was flying. They jumped out of a moving plane and landed. And then less than 10 minutes later, they're running across rooftops and, oh no, I almost fell off this roof because I'm being shot at. Like,
well, when was the last time you saw it?
In the
theaters?
Oh no, I tried to put it on for Sushan and she didn't get through it.
There's no fear of falling in that sequence.
Oh, okay, isn't there?
Yeah, no, it's just them avoiding getting shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought I remember like they shoot the ground from under them and they're like, oh.
No one is hanging or like, oh God, no, I can't fall. It's literally just like trying to get away from a bunch of people shooting at them. Yeah. Because they literally punch people through the walls.
Right.
So like,
no,
that is not a stake that's set up in that action.
Okay. All right. I made that up.
You're putting that on at the movie and it's not in the context. Things I didn't like about the movie. I think it was a trilogy of movies worth of plot in a 2-hour movie.
Yep. To
the point where you didn't have time to sit with literally any of the plot points. It was a little too fast. It also tonally was all over the fucking place. Yeah. So the beginning of the movie is him fighting pirates. Cool. That's kind of nifty.
Yeah.
But he is a murderous Snyder bro.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing with Black Manta is set up because he just lets his dad die. Aquaman lets his father die.
Which if that is a part of his journey to kind of become a better version of that, great. It's in the opening sequence, and then he's immediately joking, and it's never addressed for the rest of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then there was a bunch of like really terrible music choices. Like the Pitbull one is.
Oh, Pitbull! I hate that guy.
Mr. Worldwide.
Oh, Mr. Worldwide. Oh, what a douche.
Pitbull, like that's a funny music sting, but I'm talking about like every time that like Jason Momoa whips his hair, there's a guitar sting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're joking, right? Like. Yeah. One says a joke is funny, but like we're talking like wet hair. Like, stop it.
It started to get that way with Wonder Woman.
Just fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. the second Wonder Woman, where it was just like it was only the music cue.
Mm-hmm.
There was just the movie was all over the place, and every time that I kind of settled into it and had a little fun with just what's in front of me, it would jerk you back out with like another weird tonal choice or 10 more movies. Like,
yeah,
the movie ended with Julie Andrews as Kraken, fighting 6 other armies, and you're like, how did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just so much movie, and I didn't.
There was so much going on that I got bored.
Basically, again, if the volume's always at 11, it's just noise.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was Aquaman 1.
Yeah.
And then I saw Aquaman 2 was coming out, and I wasn't going to see it. I wasn't going to bother. But then podcast, I guess I have to subject myself to this
content, baby.
And then Noel went to go see it ahead of me.
Yeah.
And kind of prepared me a little bit of like, go ahead. What did you think of Aquaman 1? Main thoughts, initial thoughts.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I had a really good time watching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I had a problem with in the first one was not there.
Can you tell me when in this movie, I don't know if it's a spoiler or whatever, like when you went, all right, movie, you've got me, you're pulling me back in.
It had the same kind of weird pacing problems of the first movie, but it wasn't like tonal shifts that made it jarring. It was just like the movie's going really fast. So it starts with a montage of the last 4 years of him like telling his infant son about some of his adventures, and you're like, that's cool. And then it immediately goes into another like montage of what Black Manta has been up to the past like 80 years. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Time is a flat circle in this movie. Like it could the course of this movie could be
it's true
48 hours.
Yeah.
Or
7 months. Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
but yeah, like so like those montages is basically the first 15 minutes of the movie, and I was okay with it, and I was like, okay, this is fine. And then the next scene after he has a heart-to-heart talk with his dad or something, which was very charming.
Yeah.
The very next scene is all the bad guys on this enormous set, and I'm not talking about like a digital set or in the volume. It was a huge 50-foot long bridge set in a submersible that looks like a hammerhead, and everyone has matching leather outfits, like bad guy outfits, and huge levers and stuff, and like a big and I immediately in my head it clicked. I'm like, oh fuck, this is Flash Gordon. This is a 1970s, 1980s weird, hilarious, not taking itself seriously comic book movie. And it just clicked. I'm like, if this is what everyone enjoyed about the first one that I never clicked with, I get it. And from then on, I was like, this is great. And like, it started becoming actually funny. Everyone was incredibly charming. It just got dumber. It got bigger. And I'm like, this was really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the shit out of this movie.
Same. I went in hopeful because of what you had told me. And as I was sitting there, I was going, yeah, he's right. This is a bucket of fun. I'm really having a blast with this.
There's no tonal backlash. There's no like weird murderousness. It's a family movie.
Yeah. But it's big and it's dumb and it's fun. It's which feels weird for me to say because the first one, everyone was telling me, oh, it's big and it's dumb and it's fun. I love it. And I was like, I don't know. I hated it. But now I'm saying the exact same thing other people were saying about the first one that I hated, and I'm having trouble besides the fact that it was more streamlined.
This was more streamlined.
The musical cues made sense. And
one score.
Yeah.
Oh, they had one needle drop that they used over and over again. Born to Be Wild.
Yeah.
Was in the movie about 4 times.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't give a shit.
So I think we both surprisingly recommend Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
I this was a good sit. It's just it's a breezy sit.
Oh, also, you know what else we did? You had told me about this and I didn't know about it, but we both have the Regal Unlimited app. And on top of that, they now have these reusable popcorn buckets and I guess medium soft drink.
It's like a large popcorn and a medium soft drink.
Yeah.
For the year of 2024, it's like cheap refills if you just keep bringing it back.
Yeah, you buy it. It's like $30 to buy both of them. And then every time you take them back to the theater, it's $10 to fill both of them.
And you get a free refill.
Oh, even better. So yeah, that made it kind of fun.
I ate the shit out of my popcorn enjoying this movie.
Yep.
And yeah, I didn't understand. again, the internet can't hold two thoughts in its head at the same time. So I get why people just immediately wanted to shit on this.
Yeah.
But it wasn't warranted just as much as it wasn't warranted with the Marvels. I don't know why people. Sometimes fun is the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's okay.
It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It doesn't have to be Endgame. It doesn't have to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. Justice is gray and you cry at the end. Like, it could just be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And these two movies, comparatively, Marvels and Aquaman, are just really fun. And I just get really sad about people not being able to just let go.
Yeah.
Like my content does not have to teach me a lesson. Sometimes it's just a good time.
Although this movie was trying to teach us a lesson.
It was trying to
teach
kids a lesson. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So spoiler alert, we're going to get into the spoilers real quick before we wrap it up. I have a couple of things in order to make my thoughts usable, I made them 3 things I like, 3 things I didn't like about this movie. So we're going to go real quick. Noel, 3 things I liked about this. I'm going to go didn't like. 3 things I didn't like about this movie. Still too long.
How long was it?
It was 2 hours and change. Like maybe a nickel. It was like 2 and a nickel.
Actually 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Nice.
It was almost a nickel.
Yeah. So, but still, I feel like we could have trimmed maybe 15, 20 minutes out of it. But that wasn't too bad. It wasn't like Aquaman 1 where I was literally like, can I just go?
Bored.
Can I just please, can I just get up and leave? The other thing I didn't like, so Kordax.
Oh, wow. The first one was 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Way too long.
Yeah.
Kordax is the big bad. And he's the guy that is using Black Manta in order to get himself out of Necros, which is the city that has been frozen.
The Lost Kingdom.
The Lost Kingdom.
Yeah. Wait, is this roll into spoilers?
We're in spoilers.
Oh, we are?
We just did that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a whole spoiler thing.
Where am I?
So I felt like Kordax, who needed a spell and to be frozen and to have his trident.
It's a blood spell.
A blood spell. Jesus Christ. A blood spell. And his axe, his axe. His what is that? Stabby boy. Trident broken in half.
Stabby boy.
And
his dark magic.
Turns out all they needed to do was kill him. And that was I was like, why didn't they just kill him a millennia ago? When
I feel like you're being incredibly reductive about the plot.
Aquaman
You're being very reductive about that entire sequence of events.
I'm reducing it like I'm cooking.
Go on. What's your third thing?
Oh, my third thing was the henchman who's funding Black Manta and his like 200 henchmen who are all wearing the same outfits.
Sleek.
They're very sleek.
Bespoke outfits.
Yeah,
they fit everyone.
They look real nice.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted one. They reminded me of like Cobra from G.I. Joe. Where'd you guys get all this shit?
Yeah. And honestly, that entire the octopods.
Yeah.
Those like submersibles with 8 tentacles and shit. And the giant hammerhead.
Those they found.
Yeah.
Those were part of the old.
But still, just the entirety of it is G.I. Joe play sets.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yes.
All of it is like toys. And I loved all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my 3 things I didn't like.
Lengthy? Bit lengthy. I don't disagree. I'm just happy when a movie is 2 hours these days. Because every movie is too long.
Only 2 hours. Yeah.
Oh, I mean the 4 minutes of
no. I'm saying you're happy when a movie is only for 2 hours.
Like 2 or less, I'm good. Yes. But like 2 hours and 4 minutes, that's the credits. That's
no.
So like the length itself in this movie didn't bother me, especially because I honestly don't think there was many slow parts in this adventure. Kordax killed too easy. I think that's bullshit. It was very difficult to. Also, too, narratively speaking, the actual events that led to him being awoken, that was the actual climax, not Kordax. He had absolutely nothing to do with the climax. It was the fight with this Black Trident that they find. Everyone that touches it becomes possessed by Kordax, this bad guy. So this whole time, Black Manta possessed, talking to himself, seeing goblins. Excellent design, like super cool, creepy.
Oh yeah,
monster design. And he's super strong. And throughout the course of the movie, you got the buddy up, the Teemo enemies brothers thing.
Brenemies.
The Brenemies.
Bronemies.
That are like becoming trusting of each other, but then they keep like what's his name? Ocean Master. Orm.
Yeah. Orm
gets mildly possessed by this thing and wants to kill his brother. That is the climax.
Yeah.
All of the stuff with bad guy waking up and blood being spilled and throwing the trident, that was just like a cherry. To me, the actual climax was Black Manta, Aquaman, and Orm.
I understand for the way we're watching it, yes, emotionally that is the climax.
Yeah.
But for the characters in the film trying to defeat this evil that has been dormant and oh my God, what if it gets free? Oh, we just kill it.
They didn't know that though. I'm telling you, the context in the movie is everything about the Lost Kingdom was completely expunged and hidden from all records.
I wonder if he did it because it's his brother.
What?
Right? So Kordax, the bad guy, was the brother of Big Daddy Aquaman from the millennia ago.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he did it. It's like, oh, I don't want to kill him, but I'll seal up him and his monster kingdom.
Who's he?
The Big Daddy Aquaman, whose name I forget. The one who had the big the leadership trident.
Didn't he want to kill?
Kordax was his brother.
I understand.
The big bad guy.
You're saying that good guy didn't want to kill bad guy.
So that's why he froze him.
But he maybe didn't know that killing him would just, if he just completely
destroyed like it'd be the first thing you do.
Oh, and they cut it in half and then he lost all his power. So then they froze and hid all remnants, right?
Sure.
The way that it's killed is one magic trident completely destroys, not just cuts in half. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's completely destroying. I don't know. It's kind of, it's understandably a nitpick, but one that didn't bother me.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then so the three things I liked: enemies teaming up. When you just talk about the Bronemies, that was the most charming part of the movie for me. Is watching Orm and Arthur. My favorite interaction is they're going through the jungle, about to, I guess they're fleeing giant mutated things because of
orichalcum,
Jesus, unobtainium, Batmanium.
Actually, I think I read or heard that orichalcum is a real thing in like Atlantis text.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's a fake thing, but it's a real fake thing.
It's a real fake thing.
Yeah.
Previously
not unobtainium.
So yeah, the watching them team up. And I'm always a sucker for that plot point in a movie where like, all right, they were the bad guy in the last movie, but now we need to free them and fight the bigger bad guy.
Yeah.
And the conversation that they're having about cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And Aquaman says to Orm, like, you never went up and got a cheeseburger? And he's like, no, you're just saying words. I don't know what any of this means. And he says, your prejudices are keeping you from enjoying the majority of wonderful things on this planet.
Yeah, half the planet.
Half the planet. What a wonderful line in an Aquaman movie.
Also, too, like that, the rest of that conversation is, I was raised from the day I was born. I was raised to be ready for the moment that you come and take my throne from me. And he's like, that's real fucking sad, bro.
Yeah, because I did it without even trying.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that I did it without even trying. Like, I didn't want any of it.
Yeah.
As in, like, you were preparing for something that never occurred, and I just feel bad for you.
Yeah.
And like you could see in Norm's face, like it's pretty fucked, actually.
Yeah. The two of them together was delightful. Loved it.
So I don't know or care why Amber Heard's role was a little bit more sidelined in this movie. But you don't need a love interest because the foil relationship was the two brothers, not unlike the 5th season of Angel.
Oh,
yeah, like there's with Spike.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the 5th season of Angel. Anybody that's not watched all of Angel or Buffy, the 5th season, they started the 5th season with him having a love interest, which was that werewolf lady. You don't remember this?
I know, it's long
because honestly, all the writers were just like, there's a comedic foil right here, and the love interest actually is a brotherly one, and that's what we're going to do for the rest of the season.
That's cool.
So like that, this absolutely felt like that. If they had tacked on too many things, it's like
it may have been the problem of the first movie again. If they tried to cram all that in, cram all that Graham. The second one I liked the fact that he's a daddy. Now that I'm a daddy, him doing all the daddy stuff, I was like, I get it. I love this. Oh, you know what?
Got pee in his mouth.
The pee in his mouth, and then he ducks, and then Mira is in the room, so she uses her powers to make the kid's pee go into his mouth. awesome bit. And then the other one was Topo.
Oh yeah,
Topo.
but you were bitching about his.
I was
drumming.
bitching about him drumming, and now I love him. I've come around on Topo. The fact when he shows up and it's what is he called? He is a cephalopod riding a neon seahorse to as the cavalry. I was like, fuck you, Topo. I love you.
Yeah. How does he survive? You know what? Topo is
he's like
sleeper.
A spy master.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Fucking love that dude.
Nicole Kidman's in this movie.
Oh yeah, she showed up. Yeah, that's fine.
Fucking the stuff that they had Nicole and Dolph Lundgren too.
Yeah.
The stuff like I know Star Wars actors have talked about it forever. Like they'll read a script and be like, I don't know what the fuck's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's doubly worse for some of the lines that they had, like Nicole Kidman, like really give with conviction about orichalcum.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, I was imagining her memorizing these lines. I mean, like, what the fuck?
Who
talked me into this?
It's a stupid movie. But I enjoyed
it. Was delightful as hell.
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, me too. So fun. What did you guys think?
Yeah.
Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Is there anything I gave 3 and 3? Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you want to touch on?
The popcorn was really good. The audience was super into the movie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't know if anybody was on the fence or if you at all respect is a strong word.
Yeah.
But if you at all respect our opinions about dumb shit, don't necessarily sit on this.
Take it from me, the person who absolutely did not want to sit through Aquaman 1. If you felt the same way, this was a lot better.
It's a different movie. It's pretty fun. I surprised myself. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Also, I'll watch Jason Momoa in anything now. Like he's so great. Fucking charming.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I'm gonna be.
His shtick is so obvious and repetitive, but I mean, I'll have a Guinness with you.
Yeah,
like
he's been recast as Lobo.
That's just a rumor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's
because I would love to like if James Gunn came around and did more Aquaman movies, or like just had Aquaman in the Justice League and it was Momoa. I'd be totally fine with that.
I would be totally fine with him being and doing anything. But in the DC universe, I understand.
Yeah.
But there will still be contingents of mouth breathers who are like, well, is it a full reboot or is it not a reboot? Fucking assholes.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll chat at you later.
You can't do one or the other. I have no imagination. I've never read comic books, and sometimes things are just soft rebooted.
Oh, anyway.
I hate everyone.